The nation's parks are grand indeed. They're great from coast to coast. But there's one spot in all the land where you can see the most. Stay tuned and see where. Welcome back to my travel window, where we help you see the most you can while you can. My name is Ken, and today we're continuing our journey across the United States, seeing national parks from an RV perspective. Today we're going to focus on the concentration of parks where you can see the greatest number of parks in the minimum number of miles. Stay to the end and see the story behind this iconic picture. As you may remember from our last episode, there are currently 63 national parks. Alaska has the most with 8, but they are very remote from the rest of the country and from each other. They're among the least visited of the national parks. Great Smoky Mountains National Park sees as many visitors in an average day as Gates of the Arctic National Park sees in 11 years. But there is an area of the country where you could easily see 6 national parks back to back within the span of a week. But as a bonus, there are also a handful of other scenic wonders that can be seen along the way, making this area a must-see for every RV camper who enjoys national parks. Of course, the area I'm talking about is southern Utah and northern Arizona. Today, I'm going to lay out for you an 1,100-mile RV trip that will take you to the Grand Canyon and what Utah calls its Mighty Five, the national parks of Zion, Bryce Canyon, Capitol Reef, Arches, which is my personal favorite, and Canyonlands. But along the way, we will also see Cedar Breaks National Monument, Kodachrome Basin State Park, Monument Valley, the filming location of many famous westerns, Glen Canyon Dam and Lake Powell, and the picturesque Horseshoe Bend of the Colorado River. As you can see, the loop starts very near Las Vegas, so it's possible to fly to Vegas and make the tour in a rental car. But for this video, I'm going to focus on making the loop either in an RV or in a vehicle attached to your RV or trailer. You will notice in the video that there are actually 2 stops in Grand Canyon. There's 2 major places to see the Grand Canyon: the North Rim and the South Rim. The South Rim has more beautiful views and is by far the most famous, but we'd been to the South Rim multiple times, so when we went this time we decided to go to the North Rim. And what I've done on this trip is shown how you can get to either one of them, or both, on the trip. You don't need to do the trip all at one time either. In our case, we spent a month exploring this entire area from Fredonia, a struggling little town just 7 miles south of Kanab, Utah, my favorite little town on the loop. From here, we were able to take day trips to the Grand Canyon, Bryce, Zion, and all the stops on the western side of this map. We then left our fifth wheel at the campground, took our truck on the rest of the loop, seeing Capitol Reef on day 1, Canyonlands on day 2, Arches on day 3, Monument Valley on day 4. From there we drove to Lake Powell and Horseshoe Bend and Vermilion Cliffs on the way to our own bed at the end of the 5th day. We had a senior pass to allow admission to the park, so all we paid was gas, 4 nights in a hotel, 5 days worth of food, and $20 to drive the scenic dirt road through Monument Valley. The trip was done at the very end of October and the weather was great. In coming episodes, we'll break down each part of the trip, focusing on our tips for each of the parks along with the sights in the area around them. Before I get to the final picture, let me invite you again to subscribe to our channel and like this video. It tells YouTube that people like the content and gets it out to more people. As promised, here's the story behind this picture. Monument Valley Tribal Park is a picturesque area located in the Navajo Nation in southeastern Utah and northeastern Arizona. The mostly dirt road that winds through the park has been called the most scenic drive in America by many. If you're a fan of Western movies, you will recognize it as a favorite film location for director John Ford and his most famous actor, John Wayne. Stagecoach was the first movie filmed there, and John Ford would go on to film 6 more. But the rest of you may recognize this from a different movie, Forrest Gump. This is the place where Forrest, after 3 years of running, stopped and said, "I think I'll go home now." I've never seen the movie. I didn't know the connection when I took this picture, but as soon as we saw the road and the rock formations beyond, we had to stop and take this picture, which was calling out to us. We then went into the park and enjoyed a magical day. The point is that, like most of our RV journeys, we set out to see one thing, in this case Utah's national parks, but along the way we discovered a place more magical. The afterthought became the most precious memory. Just another way that it's all about the journey, not just the destination. Next time, Zion National Park. Until then, safe travels.